If you and your spouse have different interests and different hobbies, is it still possible to have a healthy and happy relationship? We're going to talk about that today. One of the subscribers of our YouTube channel put in the question of, what do you do if you and your spouse have different hobbies or different interests? And I assume that the question behind that question is, how do they get along and how do they enjoy doing things together if they have different interests and different hobbies? As usual, in order to come up with a solution to a problem, so we need to make sure that the question that we are asking is the real problem, because oftentimes the problem that we think is the problem is not really the problem. And so let's look at this question for a minute. So what do you do if you and your spouse don't have the same interests or hobbies? So what does that mean? Because again, remember, everything in this life, so everything that happens, every circumstance, every situation, every event, it means nothing until we put meaning to it. So what does that mean? So I'm married to my wife, Tony, and let's say that she and I don't have any of the same interests or the same hobbies. Does that mean that we're going to have problems in our relationship? In and of itself, no, it doesn't mean that at all, because we could look at that as an opportunity or we could look at it as a problem, right? So if we don't have the same interests or hobbies, but I love Tony and I just enjoy being with her, then it could be a really cool thing that we don't have the same interests or hobbies, because now I have a whole bunch of new things to learn and to experience in my life that I can add to my life. And so I could, maybe the reason that I'm not interested in those things or they're not my hobbies is because I don't really know anything about them. Or maybe it's because I'm not very good at those things or whatever it is. But it's an opportunity for me to learn more, to grow and experience things that I haven't experienced. And the real question is, what do I want and what am I seeking for? So am I a selfish person or in a selfish mindset where I have this belief that the way that I'm going to find happiness in my life is by having everything that I want or getting everything that I want or being able to do everything that I want to do? If that's what I believe, then that belief is going to drive my behavior, and it will affect not only me, but it will affect all of my relationships. And so that's why principle-based living is so important, is because we can look at our beliefs and to see if they are based on principle or not. And one of the things that we know about happiness is that happiness is a choice. So it's not based on circumstances, it's not based on situations. It's not based on having everything that I want to have. It's not dependent upon my life being exactly the way that I want it to be. Happiness is based on a choice, but it's also based on what we do with that choice. So if we are making selfish choices, so we are doing things that do not create value for us or for others, if we're doing things that harm ourselves, we're never going to achieve happiness. True happiness comes from creating value for ourselves, which means getting to know ourselves and doing things that help us to learn and to grow and to improve. Oftentimes, that means doing things that we don't want to do or experiencing things that maybe we wouldn't choose to experience. So it could be that if what I'm really after is happiness, that by just going along with what my conditioned beliefs are, so this belief that in order to be happy, I should have what I want or be able to do what I want, what I may end up doing in following that path is creating exactly what I don't want. Because I may end up having all of the things and doing all of the stuff that I do want, but then I may end up being alone and not having anyone to share what I'm doing with, or to share my things with, to share my life with. And I may end up, again, having everything that I think that I needed to be happy and end up being unhappy. So things, having what we want doesn't bring happiness. Happiness comes by taking care of ourselves, and happiness comes from relationships. So you need to look back at, why did I get married in the first place? Why did I marry this person? Was it because I liked this person and I enjoyed being around this person? If so, then does it really matter what you're doing when you're with that person? Or can you find happiness just being with that person? Well, what if the other person is selfish and just doesn't seem to get it, but you do? And so you're focused more on, you want the relationship to work, you want to be happy, and so you're the one that is always doing what the other person wants to do. Do you think you could find happiness then? Yeah, I think so, because happiness is a choice. And if my choice is that I want to be with this person, then again, it doesn't really matter what we're doing or what we're not doing. The other thing is, as I let go of some of maybe my beliefs and let go of trying to control things that I have no control over, my interactions with that person is going to influence that person. So the chances that this person that may be selfish will continue to be selfish or may become more selfish, that is a possibility, because that person gets to choose who they are and what they want to be and what they want to do. And they could choose to do that. And if that person becomes more and more selfish, it may get to a point where you recognize that what that person is requiring of you is no longer in your self-interest. And at that point, you may need to set a boundary. But as long as it's not doing anything that is harmful to you, and you can change your mindset and be okay with doing what that person wants to do, the likelihood is that that person's love for you will increase. They will want to do more of what you want in your life. But the key, again, here is recognizing that each one of us is responsible for our own happiness. So I'm not going to do things to try to make you happy, because if I do that and then you're not happy, now I'm going to feel upset or begin to build resentment because I'm sacrificing and I'm doing what I don't really want to do because I'm trying to make you happy. No, the truth is we need to know that we get to choose exactly what we want to do. And so if I decide to do what my spouse wants to do, I need to look at that and recognize that I'm making a choice to do that. I'm not doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because I choose to do it and I want to do it. And then go and enjoy and have fun spending that time together. Spending that time without strings attached. Because again, if I'm doing it for the underlying belief of if I do this, then maybe he's going to change or she's going to change and begin to do something differently, that person is going to feel that. They're going to feel that underneath, that there's some coercion going on in what I'm doing. And again, when a person feels like they're not okay with the way that they are and somebody is wanting or trying to change them, then they resist that. And so got to be willing to let go of the control, to recognize that you're free to do whatever you want to do and you don't have to do anything, but there are consequences for all of the choices that we make in this life. So is it possible to have a healthy, happy, successful relationship, having different hobbies and different interests? You bet. And things are changing all of the time. And it may be that as you spend time together, both of you lose interest in some of the hobbies that you had when you were younger, and you create or come up with new hobbies and interests as you grow older. And so life is continually changing. We need to stay focused on what it is that we really want, what it is that we're really after in our life, and how do we achieve that, and make sure that our beliefs are in alignment with principle, that they're not based on things that are not true or not false. Otherwise, we may spend our whole life seeking for what we think we want and really end up empty. Thanks for watching today. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. Visit our website at principlebasedliving.com. And if you're watching this on LinkedIn, be sure and follow me here.